What's good, you guys? Listen, it's Monday, so I'm running behind, kind of slow. Hey, y'all. Hey, babe.
Hey, how you doing? Hey. Now you know. Inhale, exhale with my flow.
You
What you
so
doing over
funny.
there?
Trying to get life together. I can't find a.
Can't find the stream.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah. Want to give a big shout out to everybody that's coming through and showing love. Big shout out to Candy Loves TV. My homeboy Big Joe Townsend in the building. What's up, homie? How you doing? Crystal Jenkins, Queen Slade, Deborah. Good to see you, sister. Zena. Behind the Lens TV. What's up, brother? Salute to y'all. Salute to y'all. Katie
Hello.
Bowers. How you doing? Why is you looking like that?
Because I'm over here messing with stuff. I'm.
I
I'm
don't
just.
know why. I don't know why you over here messing with stuff today.
I hate Mondays.
I know you do. I know
Like,
you.
if we could just go like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, because Monday is just like the worst day. And don't let it be a sunny Monday. I don't like sunny days. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm a cloudy type of girl.
Yeah, that's in complete contrast to me because I love the sun and hate the rain. You know what I'm saying? Love the sun but hate the rain.
I love the rain. I love it, love it, love it. But it's just Mondays. I feel like I can never get started right. And it's starting to be like that on the daggone weekends. It's be so much to do. I cannot just catch up. I just need
How was your weekend? How was your weekend?
busy. Busy. It was cool though. It was cool. It was busy. I did not accomplish I accomplished absolutely nothing that I was supposed to accomplish. No. So I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. I'm sorry, y'all.
You
But
have any highlights this weekend? Anything that stood out to you this weekend or what?
you, the family. I mean, the family, just the family. We
Yeah.
we well, we got good little stuff coming up. So this is gonna be a short week for us here on the stream. I mean, we're gonna be streaming, but it's not gonna be the traditional stream. Um, we
That might
got
be next
business.
week. That might be next week. I don't think that's this week.
You don't think it's this week?
No, I don't think it's this week because I think we're getting out of town on Friday. And
Oh,
then next week is probably
well, see, and this gonna start all over, y'all. We gotta go sit down with these dang on people for this hair brand, and the meetings be long, and we have to travel. And sometimes when y'all don't see me, if I don't like, get online and stuff like that, that's because we're traveling, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot being a business owner, especially the kind.
Yeah, I got a email today from a lady that was like she wanted to become a subscription. She wanted us to do a subscription with her. And it's funny because you'll be talking to people and you'll be like, well, we don't offer subscription right now because right now we having a hard time just keeping product in stock. And one of the reasons why we have a hard time keeping product in stock is because we are completely independent. We're completely independent. We're not relying upon nobody. We deal with these people and do our own formulations and everything on our own hustle. So it's extremely crazy for us right now, and we're trying to get into that position, but it's coming, But we we willing and dealing, hitting the road and doing our own thing and getting and building that clientele up. So it's a new situation every day for us. We battling new obstacles and conquering things every day. You know what I'm saying? Other than
Yeah,
that, how was your weekend, mama?
it was good, baby. How was yours?
Mine was real good, real good. Had a good time. Like I said, with the fam. Like you said, with the fam. We went over there, had big Sunday dinner with the family. Found out that I'm possibly gonna be a not possibly gonna be a gonna be a uncle again. You know what I'm saying? I already got nephews, and of course, watched the fight, and just had a good time. Really, really enjoyed our stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We caught the fight. We enjoyed it. Crawford did a good job. Salute to him. Salute to Bo.
Um, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just said salute to Nebraska. What you saying though?
Oh yeah, salute to Crawford. Crystal say, are y'all separated during the weekend, or y'all just asking each other perspective? We're just asking one another. We're never separated.
Yeah.
It's been almost 5 years. We're never separated.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was separated when I was doing like a kind of like a regular job. So we would be separated for a little bit of time when I was doing like a 9 to 5. But at this point, I don't do no 9 to 5 or anything like that. So
My
uh,
man is retired.
I wouldn't say I'm retired because we work more now than we
But
did.
we work for ourselves. We work for ourselves. We don't work for nobody. We don't go to nobody. Listen, and this was I didn't get to this part. I think no, I said this when I was telling the stories. When I was telling stories, I said that I wanted you to be retired.
Mm.
And
Mm.
when I was saying that, when I was talking about when we initially got together and all this other stuff, I was like, I want to retire my man. I want my man retired. Now, listen, from the time that we started the channel to right now, and it's been what, 2.5 years, 2.5, 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years since we started your channel.
Look at God. Look at God. I said it.
Yeah, you did
I
say it.
said it. I said it. We was talking about it like we just
We
how
work
young
very
are we?
we work
Huh?
very hard. Crystal, we got 5 grandkids, so but we work
Five.
very hard.
Yes. We ain't 45. We ain't 44 neither.
So
Like
we work very hard, and
eh,
so it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to get to this point to where we can actually, embark and go on to the self-employment journey. Because I mean, we work completely for ourselves, both of us at this point in time, and it's been great. Learning a lot of stuff, like I said earlier. But I do want to kind of switch gears and get into today's show. Today's show, you're going to be going over and talking about when you were an actual fugitive. This
oh
is
Lord.
this is the this is the um the second part of how I got indicted. How I got indicted, which was what we went over last time. You gave so much shit out. I think you made some criminals in that broadcast. This the last broadcast. I think you made some criminals. There was a lot of people with a lot of questions. The last episode of how I got indicted, where you actually went over a lot of things and gave up a whole lot of game on as far as scamming and stuff like that. Now we ain't trying to do that, and I want to be clear with this. This is we talking about what this woman and I already went to jail for, then I already got indicted. She's just going over what happened. She does not advise, nor does she want any of you to try to take the information that y'all have gotten off of this broadcast and put it into your own scamming plan, or for you to break the law in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Because I know it was a lot of people that was in here that was extremely intrigued and really hell bent on trying to figure out how stuff go, and you can just see them putting the pieces together to possibly embarking on some foolishness and getting yourself locked up. It ain't nothing but I'm telling you, this is not for that. Do not break the law with anything that you hear or see on this podcast. This woman and I already went to jail for that. If you don't learn from her, you know, that's your own fault. But a wise man or woman learns from, a smart man or woman learns from their own mistakes. A wise man or woman learns from the mistakes of others. And that's all Cece is doing, is she's showing y'all her mistakes. She is not putting this on here for y'all to go break the law. I want to reiterate that to all the young ladies, because there was a lot of young ladies in here, young ladies in specific, a lot of young ladies that were extremely interested in a lot of stuff that you were saying last week. So I want you young ladies to, you know, put that energy into something else. What's up, Torian? What's up? What's up, Jared? What's up, y'all? Salute to y'all. Salute to
Hey,
y'all.
Kareem.
So
Salute God be for everything. Hey, y'all.
what's up, God? Before everything, yeah. Artifacts, what's up, homie? Energy on high, what's up? Tasha Chinny in the building. Salute to you, Queen. Listen, um, what is it like without getting too in detail into the video? Because a lot of people don't understand. First of all, what a fugitive is, and what it's like to actually be a fugitive in a nutshell. Before we get this video started.
Um, it's a pain in the ass because you're so used to being the breadwinner and the provider and not needing anyone. And the moment you do need somebody, people show they ass. It's not it's it's a pain. It's a pain. And you really find out who people are while you're on the run.
Mm. When you say it's a pain and you find out who people are when you're on the run, elaborate a little bit more on that without getting into too much of detail.
Family, friends, spouses, significant other, who you really found out who these people are. And another thing, my children, you found out what your children are made of.
Mm.
If that's the type of life like you're living, you find out what your children are made of.
Do are do people prepare? I mean, you know, you get a lot of dudes and stuff like that. You know, you get bail money and stuff like that. Like when I was in the streets or whatever, you know, one of the cardinal rules was having bail money and money for lawyers. Should street people have an allotment also for going on the run? Would
Yeah.
you advise that?
Yeah, absolutely. Being on the run is very expensive. It's really expensive. Um, if you're going to step into that lifestyle, it is what it is. If you're going to step into that lifestyle, I suggest you have money, cash money put up so you can get a hold to it for when you need to move around. I suggest you have a lawyer on deck, you know, so you can get to them. And I suggest you have an insurance policy.
Mm. I'm gonna ask you this: if you could go on a run, not if you could, if you had to go on a run again, how would you go about? Say, like I'm gonna say for me, for instance, say I probably would have some sort of place in somebody else's name with a certain amount of cash on hand that nobody knew about. Nobody knew about except that person. How would you go about setting up you a different place that you never attended to, that nobody knew you had, if you had a chance to go through it again, going on the run?
Well, if I was in that life again, um, if I was in that life, what I would do is have a place, like you just said, in somebody else's name, that's tucked far off. That's far off. I will have a burner car,
Mm.
a cash car, in somebody else's name, with the insurance on there, and I have that tucked. And I'll never drive it. I'll never drive it until I need to drive it. And I'll have the lights and everything set up, and I'll hop on the road and I'll go somewhere far away from people. And I would change my, if I had to go, depending on what I'm going on the run for. You just don't have to run for every goddamn thing. You know, if you're getting 30 days, bitch, go do your 30 days. You know, but if I'm looking at something heavy, it's easy for me to change my identity.
Yeah, I mean, in the lifestyle that I came from, it would be difficult for me to change my identity or be that type of person. But I would think if somebody was like in the IDs and stuff like that, I don't know why you wouldn't just have you, like you said, have you a person that you really trust, set up you another place, keep that out there away, probably 2 or 3 states over, maybe more if you can get as far as that, and you know, have you a stash in there, have you that ID of that person that help you set that. And I would actually use a person, get the insurance, keep all that stuff paid up. Go ahead.
Get you a CPN.
Explain that.
If you get you a CPN, you don't need to use your social for nothing. So if you get you a CPN, you could put that crib like that other person.
Mm.
You could be that other person because your social is not gonna be able to be traced. Your CPN, you could put everything up under your CPN. Another thing I would do, me being a girl, I go ahead and hit that little good care credit. Get these tatas and this butt done. Listen, it's easy. Y'all listen to this. Listen. Before I'm sorry
No,
for
do your thing.
stopping you. Um, these tattoos and stuff on my neck. I got these tattoos for a reason. The reason why I got these tattoos is so I won't commit any more crimes.
Wow. Well, go back to what you just said, because you just dropped a lot of game right there, and you didn't really elaborate. Because I heard of a CPN. What's the deal with a CPN? And you said you would get your tatas and your rear done, and put it
Oh, my care credit.
on the care credit. Explain the significance of that and why you would do that.
Because if they're going to be looking for me, they be looking at the body types and all that other stuff. I changed my body type. The CPNs are good for cars. They're also good for houses. They also, if you use a CPN, don't burn it. You could build credit on a CPN. So you could get credit cards and all this other stuff with your CPN because it's just like a social. So if you pay your bills on it, if you pay your bills, it'll build credit. It'll build up your credit score on it. And so you can go get credit cards with your CPN. You can get, like I said, apartments with your CPN. You can get houses with your CPN. You can get cars. My suggestion, if that's the life you was living, if you get your CPN, I mean, you always supposed to have the CPN in a tuck. You know what I'm saying? Get something. My little trap. You know what I'm saying? Pay on it. Use your CPN for it, and you pay on it. You pay on it, and it's building line of credit, so it don't look suspicious, like you just burning stuff up. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to burn up your CPN. You want to build it like you build your own credit on your own, your own social. It's a whole nother identity.
So that's your credit when you out there being a criminal if you smart.
Yeah.
Okay. And the whole care credit thing, why would you use care credit to get your titties and your ass done?
Because care credit is good. Care credit is good. Care credit, I mean, that's for that. I'm not gonna lie, I'll use a burner CPN for my care credit. I ain't gonna use my other CPN, but I get a throwaway CPN for that.
So you would have multiple CPNs, but one that
Yeah.
you really put a lot of building in, and you really took care of like your own for when you had to break and run, if that ever happened or anything happened like that.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I went to prison on my CPN.
That's wild. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready to get into this video. We finna get ready to get into being on the run, talking about you actually being a fugitive, and how you lived as a fugitive on the run. That's what we finna get into right now. Let me set this up real quick and get this going. There it is right there.
Wait, before you start that, talk to them. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh no. Okay. I just took her off the stage, y'all. I just took her off the stage because she's saying she got to go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to ask her a lot of those questions. Felicia May, she asked, how do you get one? I don't know how you get a CPN, but I don't think we should even discuss that on this deal. But what I did want to know is, because me and Cece come from two different lights, and I wanted to know exactly, how somebody that actually stole, scammed, and took people's identity, how they would disappear, opposed to the traditional way. You know what I'm saying? When drug dealers, they just put everything in their mama name and all this other stuff and kind of disappear and stuff like that. But and then hope they don't find you. But a person that's dealing with identities and can steal people's identity and come back as somebody completely different, that's a little bit different than the lifestyle that I was used to. You know what I'm saying? God, before everybody says, how do I feel hearing these stories? Man, I don't really. I mean, really, to tell you the truth, Cece is her own character. She's her own person. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, it's kind of refreshing, but at the same time, it's shocking. It's a lot of little different emotions that go through my mind watching these stories and stuff like that. But I really revere her as a person, and I respect her hustle. I respect I respect who she was in the streets. I know that she got money in the streets. She got more money than me in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I respect her hustle. So I guess the first thing, it would be respect. And I also get to see her changing her life and transitioning and stuff like that. So I know who she is now, and I know the work that she had went through to transition. So it's a lot of different emotions, you know what I'm saying, and different things, going through my mind. I mean, I'm just like y'all in some of these videos, but it's
Uh,
dope.
Let me say this. She was like, "What all that been said? You said you went to jail." What I mean when I say I went to jail with mine, when you get them your social, when they ask you your social, I got them CPN. I didn't give them my social.
But she got that straight. She got that straight. Hold on, let me see. I'm sorry. She got that straight now before she got out. Miss Tasha says, Black, are we gonna get a channel about your life one day? Nah, I'm not. I don't really like talking about a lot of stuff that I actually, if it wasn't for CC, I probably wouldn't even I wouldn't even be saying that, at this stage, you know what I'm saying? Because we do so much business and stuff like that now. I try to keep that on the tuck, that I used to be a drug dealer and stuff like that, and that I went to federal prison. I don't, I don't try to make that like no big story, but that's CC's, that's her thing. She likes telling stories. I'm not a big time storyteller. She tells the best stories. She's really one of the best storytellers on the internet, period. And so, that's her style. That's her life. It ain't really for me. But you ready for this, baby?
Yes, love.
Okay, I'm finna give it to you. Hold on. Let me get out of the way.
Star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad. Baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Wanna rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad.
What's good, you guys? I am Cece, aka
Slide
Cece
pass,
Robinson.
babe.
And for those of you who are new to the channel, I thank you guys. For those of you, I'm like, that's just fucked up. Give them my number on that, my service. This is from the girl. It's from old girl. So as I'm driving, as soon as I get on the road, this car was seen leaving because
Oh,
I
damn.
was on his heels like, yo, you videos. Please, please, please. I'm asking you, please share the videos. And before we get started, once again, I talked to Fat Boy. I talked to Fat Boy. Fat Boy said, just let y'all know, he did not sleep with that girl. He said he did not sleep with the girl. She slept with the guys. He said no matter what she say, he did not sleep with her. So I just want to clear that part up because I was on his heels like, yo, you messed with that girl. You messed with that girl. Long story short, I'm about to get into this part too. So when I'm leaving up at the hotel, parking lot, the police is pulling in. I'm talking about they speeding in, haul ass, and I'm on the phone with Fat Boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling him, I'm like, I don't know if this car was seen leaving the parking lot, the Home Depot parking lot. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So he tell me, he like, yo, he was like, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Now, originally I was on my way to Chicago, but when that happened, all plans was diverted. I decided I'm going back to Philly. So as I'm driving, as soon as I get on the road, good, I get a text message to my phone. So the text message is like, hey, where you at? Like, hey, where are you? Not, hey, where you at? Because that's how I talk. It's like, hey, where are you? And it's from the girl. It's from old girl. So I'm like, what you mean where I'm at? I said, I'm parked where you left me at. She like, I don't see you. So I was like, I don't see you either. So she was like, if the text message supposed to read, it's cold outside. Come and get me. But it said it's cops outside. Come and get me. This is what the message read.
You want to say something on that?
They trying to trick me so bad. They just told on their damn self. It's cops outside. What? You think I see it?
So kind of just to recap. So at this stage right here, this is what's happening right now is basically what happened from yesterday is you see the police, you sitting out in front of the bank camped. You broke a couple of rules. You was not on the phone with her when she went inside the bank, which you should have been on the phone with her when she went inside of the bank. But she went inside of the bank and she's in there for like 10 minutes. You still on the horn. You realize that she might be jammed up. So you pull off, and as you pulling off, you see the police zooming into the bank parking lot. Right?
No, I seen the police zoom up to the damn door. They blocked one squad car, zoomed up. It's how he zoomed in and blocked the entrance. And he got out. And walked inside. When I seen that, first of all, don't the police zoom up like that, and he ain't put the lights on, not to alert someone else. You know what I'm saying? But it's the way he blocked off that door. When I seen him block off the door, that's when I jumped in the driver's seat and moved the car around.
Oh, see, I never knew that. I didn't know. I always, when you tell the story, it's always that they zoomed up to the front. They actually blocked the door off, and you saw them get out of the car before you even bust a move and left, because you watching from an adjacent parking lot, not in the bank parking lot, but a parking lot to where you can see what's going on around the bank. Hold on. Go ahead. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I was watching when the car zoomed up. It blocked the door. So I moved the car. I jumped in the driver's side seat and moved the car. I moved the car and angled the car so I could just speed out the parking lot. But I watched for a little bit more. Like, that was some of the craziest stuff. And I mean, that stuff replays in my mind all the time, because I don't think people understand. Hey, Kadeem. I don't think people understand that this was the beginning of the end. The end of that era. Life started to spiral, and that was the beginning of it. It was such a crazy time. Where you go to? I need to hit play. I wonder, can I hit play? I can't. Yeah. Y'all got some questions about this? Nothing? Okay. See, this is why Black is the great producer, the great host, and I need him, because he asks me those questions and everything. I'm an airhead. So when I respond, like I respond to whatever's being asked. But if I'm gonna do it, it's not gonna happen. I'll see him be looking at y'all like y'all looking at me, and that don't work. It don't work when you're doing stuff like this. Babe, where are you? I need you. Come back.
I'm back.
Oh. No, I didn't know it was a setup. I did not know it was a setup. But I was covering my ass. I was covering my ass. I didn't know it was a setup. But when she started giving me the text, when she started texting me versus calling me, it's like, yeah, bitch, you're done. You're done.
We're finna get it cracking. I just wanted to know because that was real interesting what you just said as far as them speeding up to the bank and blocking the entrance. And I didn't even know you waited that long because you was supposed to be gone. So I didn't even know you waited that long watching the cops get out and all that shit.
I mean, you have to be careful because sometimes, like, people can panic when they see cops, you know. So when they sped up to the door, that's what alerted me. I called her phone. She didn't answer the phone, which is a no-no while you inside the bank. Then I see the cops. That's strike one. Then I see the cops speed up to the door. That's strike two. So I repositioned the car so I could get ready to pull up out of there. And man, I called her phone. After I seen them cops. She didn't answer. She did not answer. So I'm like, hey, this bitch done got caught. You know what I'm saying? This bitch done got caught. Now sometimes you can pull off I'm not gonna be funny. Sometimes you can panic your damn self and pull off and leave some goddamn body. There ain't even nothing wrong. Sometimes you can, because you really trying to cover your ass. But it is what it is.
All right, let's get it cracking.
I was like, come and get me. This is what the message either. So she was like, if the text message supposed to read, it's cold outside. Come and get me. But it said it's cops outside. Come and get me. This is what the message read. I was like, I'm finna pull up. I told her just like that. I said, I'm finna pull up. I'm pulling around right now. I wish the fuck I would have pulled around right then and there. But I was already gone. I'm gone. I won't give a damn what's going on. You know? So when I start getting those text messages to my phone automatically, I'm like, yo, I got to get rid of this line. So I called my folks in Chicago. I had Boost Mobile as my service. My folks owned a Boost Mobile store. So I called my folks in Chicago like, yo, I need you to change my phone number right now. He was like, right now? I said, change my shit right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, some shit just happened. I need my number changed right now. I couldn't stop and get a phone. I wasn't finna stop and get a phone. I've never drove straight in my life. I always want to stop and all this. I drove straight. Hands 2 and 10. I promise you, 2 and 10. I'm not looking over to the side. I glanced at the rearview mirror, but I'm talking about I've never drove this straight in my life. So he changed my phone number right then and there. Have it go, you know, I call Fat Boy and I give Fat Boy my number. I give him my number on that phone. I get a call to my other phone, and it's me and Fat Boy mutual friend, the one who told me, you know, just go ahead and do this solid, do this favor. Have he ever steered me wrong? He was like, you okay out there? So I'm like, nah. I'm like, that's just fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But of course, I'm nervous. I'm talking about, once again, my pussy is in my coochie. My heart is in my coochie. It's in my coochie. It's like, yo, this just got real, and I've never been in this situation before. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna get stopped by a state trooper. I don't know none of this stuff. I don't know. So he like, the next question out his mouth, man, I'm running from a situation. The next question out of his mouth is, what kind of car you in? What kind of car I'm in? And when you're in a situation like that, when them people is on your ass, or you think them people is on your ass, any question about where you going or what you in or what you wearing, some shit like that, is a no-no. So I'm like, what the fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? I get an attitude, another attitude. What the fuck you mean? What kind of car I'm in? I'm like, what kind of question is that? He like, that's how you gonna talk to me? Hell yeah. What you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to set me up? And he was like, nah. He was like, you tripping. No, the fuck you tripping. You know what I'm saying? If it weren't for your raggedy ass, I wouldn't have. First of all, you already know, you're aware of what's going on. So why would you be calling me, asking me what kind of car I'm in? You've never asked me what kind of car I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And behind the scenes, this is something I don't think I talked about. She had called them, trying to set them up.
So you saying she had already called them before you got in contact with them?
Listen. So I'm going to say this because I'm gonna skip ahead.
Yeah, because I didn't know this. I never heard you say that she called them before.
Okay, they called the 1-800 number on the back of the card. They called the 1-800 number on the back of the card. The police call the 1-800 number on the back of the car, and it goes right to it. Everything checks out. Everything checks out. So while they calling the number on the back of the car, she's able to use her phone and every damn thing inside the bank. So they checking out everything. They checking out cars. They putting on the black lights. They hitting it. They doing whatever. Everything's coming back. Boom, boom, boom. Everything's coming back. She call and tell them like, they got me. They got me. I'm in a bank. They checking what the band, but of course they know they checking the car because they call the 1-800 number. You know what I'm saying? So they saying one man, and she say I'm outside in whatever kind of car we was in, whatever kind of SUV we was in. She say this shit. The police hearing this. Police is hearing this. Now everything checks out. When I say everything checks out, the police just want to cover his ass just to make sure. So he asked this lady, what's your birthday? And she says, not the birthday on the ID. She cannot remember it. And his. Remember when I say you study your pieces the night before, you memorize it. Tell me why her birthday on the card was her real birthday. It was her real birthday. She didn't even look at it.
Wow. Well, she was green. She was green to the situation. Was you working now to your credit? To your credit, because you got to get you're gonna take the credit for this one way or another.
Wait. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you ask her? Did you work with her any? Did you work with her any before she started walking in the banks?
What you mean work with her? I told her the night before, because she was on the phone talking to somebody in Vegas. I told her the night before, look, like, you need to settle down. You know what I'm saying? You need to settle down. You need to look at your stuff. Man, I don't be in the room with people. Right. You see what I'm doing. I can pick up anything. I'm a sponge. I could pick up anything. I promise you, I can pick up anything. I pick up on everything because if I see it, I got it. I retain information like I don't know why I'm like that, but I can pick up on anything. So if this is something new to me, I'm going to watch you. You don't even know I'm watching you, but I'm watching you because I'm going to get what you're doing. I'm going to get what you're doing. It's the reason why they sent you out with me, bitch. Pay attention. I'm going to get what you're doing and I'm going to make it better. I'm going to make it my own. I'm going to take what you're doing. I do it with food. I do it with every damn thing, clothes, everything. I'm going to take what you're doing, make it better, make it my own. She didn't even attempt to learn the stuff. Didn't even attempt it. Like, you're really playing with your life. You don't. Nah, that's not what you do.
Were you aggressive when you were trying to tell her when it was time to, like, bitch, if you don't learn this, we gon', you could go to jail. Were you pushy on that, or you were just kind of like either she get it, or she don't?
I wasn't pushy on the situation. For the simple fact, you know how I am. Like, whatever comes out my mouth comes out my mouth, and I can offend people really easily, and I'm not even trying to. I told her, this a grown ass woman. I told her, I say, you need to go over your stuff. You need to learn your stuff. Put your cards in order, put your lids in order, and figure out how we're gonna move. All right, I got it. While she telling me she got it, she's texting it on the phone and then get on FaceTime with some nigga.
And just
imagine, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you go ahead.
She's on a whole different. She's still operating. I tell her, I say, man, you might want to get some sleep, so this stuff can be fresh. You always, if you're doing this, you want to be relaxed. You want to get. If I'm tired, you might as well hang up the day. When I'm tired, I wake up in a bad mood and I put that out in the universe, and it rubs off on other people. That's not what you want to do. You want to be happy, go lucky while you out there grabbing your money, getting your money. So you need to be fed, bathed, relaxed. Not on the phone all damn night long talking about absolutely nothing. You know, it's just, it was, and I know I was not aggressive with her. I told her what she needed to do, and she did the complete opposite.
Just to reiterate just a little bit, how important is it for you to be fed, bathed, walking into these banks? You know, how important is your attitude and knowing your stuff? How important is it to know for you to have success walking up into the bank to get the money? How important is that?
That's the most important thing in the world. Your life, you play. It's like, first of all, if you look good and you smell good, people gonna treat you well. People will treat you well. You ever see somebody who just don't give a damn? Look how people treat them. Look how people react to them. But if you put together, you're well rested, you clear headed, you have your mentality is different. When you're tired, you're irritable, and you take things the wrong way. You have to look the part. You have to look the part. You put your best foot forward. Regardless if it's scamming or whatever, this is your job at the moment. And I know a lot of people was like, that's not a job. Bitch, it was my job. It was my job. That's what I did. You just didn't appreciate the side of the law it was on. But I got up every day and went to work. Just like you got up every damn day and went to work. Except your job, you went and bowed down, did some other stuff, and made the little money that you making. You gotta wait 2 weeks for your shit. I went and took what I wanted, and I got paid right then and there. People don't like that.
You ready?
Yeah. Been on this trip. If it was trying to set me up, and he was like, nah, he was like, you tripping. No, the fuck you tripping. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for your raggedy ass, I wouldn't have been on this trip. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been on the trip. Fuck Fat Boy. If it wasn't for my folks, because I argue with Fat Boy all day, but I never would have argued with my folks like that. We argue, but it's not like that because he is not on one of those type of levels. We argue about simple shit. You know what I'm saying? But you told me to go against what I thought. And you know what I'm saying? And have I ever steered you wrong to get me to go some fucking well? And I lied to myself. I lied to myself about the way I felt. So I hang up the phone. I throw that phone out the window. I have nothing more. Now check this out. I drive from Pittsburgh back to Philly. So when I get to Philly, I pull up to the Philadelphia, the airport hotels where they had
So let me clarify this. You got multiple phones because you say you got with old boy. He changed your number on one phone, and you had a burner phone where you was talking to your people, and you just threw the burner phone out the window.
Yep.
What's the significance of having? How many burner phones do you need in this type of situation, and what's the significance of having a burner phone while you running up in banks and hitting licks like that and scamming?
A burner phone is very significant for the simple fact it has no attachment to you. It's a throwaway phone. That's a little prepaid phone. It's a little prepaid phone. You ain't got to get no name. You can say whatever name you want, and you buy the little cards. You don't got to go in. You can buy the little cards and put your minutes on there. Go, put your your minutes. I'm gonna say minutes. Put your minutes on there and then go on about your damn life. Have it go. A regular phone has attachments. It has history. And let me say this because this was stupid. I changed my number. I changed my number on the phone, which I didn't notice, but they were still able to track my phone. They were still able to tap my phone.
So just because you changed your number didn't throw them off in any way, shape, form, or fashion. A number change is not a key for you to unlock a whole nother pathway or line on the phone.
Especially with Apple.
Wow.
Especially with Apple. And I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of big people. A lot of famous rappers, artists, stuff like that. And they're like, I have relationships with these people. And so They tapped everybody phone that was every number in my contact. They tapped every one of their phones. You got to get rid of the SIM.
Wow. Wow. So that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people really don't know that. They think that once they change their number, that they get a clear, fresh start. What you saying is that's not the case. Even if you change your number, they still on their heels. You ready?
Mm-hmm. And hotels it. I go and that phone out the window. I have nothing more. Now check this out. I drive from Pittsburgh back to Philly. So when I get to Philly, I pull up to the Philadelphia, the airport hotels where they had their hotels at. I go and check in the aloft on the alias. So I call my driver. Now I have a driver. I never really drive myself anywhere. I have a driver. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I'm supposed to do is sit back and get money. If I don't have to drive, I won't drive. Period. My driver make $1,000 a day just driving. That's the only thing he do. Drive me wherever I need to go, no matter what state I'm in. He catching a flight so he can drive. That was his job. So I call my driver to come and pick up the car. You know what I'm saying? I don't park the car in a hotel parking lot, not the hotel parking lot, but in the airport cell phone parking lot in Philly. Tell him go up there. Tell him where it's at. Tell his ass to go up there and get it. Now here's the thing: when you have cards and IDs, when you're doing any type of crime, the crime I was doing, and you on the road, you take the cards and shit, but I'm being so small and flat and stuff, and you stick them inside the doors and stuff. That way, if you just get pulled over, you don't have this shit on you. It's contraband. I'm using the prison word. It's contraband. You know what I'm saying? You don't have this on you. This is a whole case. These are cases. There are multiple cases. You know what I'm saying? Each ID and each card is a multiple case. It really is. It's a multiple case. So my driver was supposed to come pick up the card, the SUV, and he was supposed to take it and strip the car down. When I say strip the car down, I mean snatch the doors off, pull the roof down, and get whatever contraband is in there. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to take that shit and get rid of it, destroy it. This motherfucker comes pick up the car. He come and pick up the car and then just go park it. Excuse me. He just go park the shit and on some random street. On some random street. You know what I'm saying? How fucking stupid. Well, she did a lot of stupid shit, but how stupid? Okay, I didn't know this. So when I asked him did he strip the shit down, tell him yeah. So for a couple of days, I didn't want to say nothing. Okay, I'm going to answer a few questions real quick. So how you can get caught on the CPN? You get caught on the CPN if you don't put trade lines on the CPN. A CPN is perfect. That's perfect. 750, 800 out the door. But how do you get 750, 800 out the door and you ain't did nothing? That's what alert people to fake to CPNs. In order for you to not get caught on a CPN, you need to put trade lines on CPNs. Trade lines are things that build the credit. They want to see a history on a CPN. So but of course when you go to them, it's the social, but they need to see a history on it. That's what gets you whatever you need, the history. That's why I say pay. You pay on it. You pay on it. You pay on it. You pay on it. You just cop a CPN and you going on about your damn business. Like, how did you get here? Like you skip some steps. That's what people don't know. You need to put trade lines on CPNs in order to build it. You got some questions?
No, I mean, I'm listening to you saying that he didn't do anything. He just took the car and parked it. Now,
lazy.
I do want to go back to like, where would you stash the cars? I mean, I know you just said you jam them in doors and stuff like that. What was your little stash spots in cars with the cars, like behind doors, and like what's the sweet spots?
So if you get a rental, you know what I'm saying? You get a rental and you got a whole bunch of cards, you pull the roof You put your hands where the windshield is, pull that part down. Don't snatch it down, but pull it because you can pull that down. Pull that down and you stick the cards. The cards is going to come in bundles. They're going to be wrapped in rubber bands. You stick the bundles up there. You can put it inside of like little manila envelopes, small ones. That way it'd be easier, or the cards won't come loose and go all through the damn car. You put it in little envelopes and you stick it. You tuck it at the top. Now, when you have used cards, when you have used them and they no good, and you don't want to mix them up with those, sometimes sometimes you could either put them back up in the envelope, like use another envelope that's empty and put it up there, or you could take them one by one and stick it. Where your mirror is on the door, you could stick with a windshield, with a mirror, the window. Where the window goes down inside the door, you can throw your cards inside of there.
In the door panel.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to it.
Street. On some random street. You know what I'm saying? How fucking stupid. Well, she did a lot of stupid shit, but how stupid. This motherfucker comes pick up the car. He come and pick up the car and then just go park it. Excuse me. He just go park the shit and on some random street. On some random street. You know what I'm saying? How fucking stupid. Well, she did a lot of stupid shit, but how stupid? Okay, I didn't know this. So when I asked him, did he strip the shit down? Tell him, yeah. So for a couple of days, I didn't want to say nothing to nobody. So on that third day, you know what I'm saying? Fat boy called me like, yo, did you talk to a girl? Why the fuck would I be talking to her? You know what I'm saying? You got to get a phone so she can call. Now it's been 3 days. You know what I'm saying? I have to get a lawyer. I have to get a lawyer for her. I have to get a lawyer for her, and he want me to get a phone so she can call. I say I get a phone, but I'm not talking to this bitch. I say I get a phone to give it to you. Now, imagine you, her going to jail, the cost for her lawyer, buying everything is on me because she was with me, and I did not follow proper procedure of this whole thing. I supposed to been on the phone with her on her ass. Instead, I had an attitude. It just is what it is. I had an attitude because I didn't want to be there with the bitch, and so I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? That was my fault.
So this is something that a lot of people don't really understand, especially people that's trying to become bosses in the streets. I think you just said something extremely significant that needs to be highlighted and needs to be told to these people, because this could be the difference from somebody having a legitimate reason to snitch on your ass. There is no legitimate reason to snitch, but let me say that. But I'm going to say this. If you supposed to be taking care of business, it's more likely for somebody to snitch on you when you don't handle business. And I think you just said something extremely poignant. It was you broke the rules by not following protocol to the T. So with you not following protocol to the T, it made you liable for all the legal costs. And I think a lot of people, a lot of women and men, they try to build these teams and shit like that on some boss type shit, and you're not really no boss because you don't have the money. You have the money for yourself, but you don't have the money to bail your team out if they get jammed with some dope or some credit cards or whatever. You're not a legitimate boss. So it's some flaw shit going on in that protocol, and you can wind up getting yourself tricked off. That's a part of the game as well. How important, and matter of fact, how was it that brought to your attention that this was the proper protocol? How did you get that understanding that if I don't do what I'm supposed to do while this person that's with me that's in the bank, then I'm going to be liable financially for that in the end?
It's common sense. She was with me. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Clearly, she don't know what the hell she's doing. Let me explain it. And that's just my character. That's just who I am as a person. A quick example. Our grandchildren were here for the summer, and my grandson, what you call them damn games they playing, babe?
The Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Switch got broken while he was here at the house. I did not send him back home with a broken Nintendo Switch. I bought him a brand new Nintendo Switch and sent the broke one back so they could get it fixed. I sent all that. It's just if it's on my watch, I'm gonna handle it. If it's on my watch, I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure to try to take care of the situation. That's just how I am. Everybody not like that. Some people just say, man, fuck them. Man, fuck. No, I don't listen. I'm going to ease your mind. I'm going to ease your mind and relieve you of all stress. You ain't got to worry about bond money. You ain't got to worry about a lawyer. I'm the one that's out here. So I'm going to handle that. Only thing you need to do is shut your ass up, bitch. And wait on your rescue to come. The only thing you got to do is sit back. You ain't got to do no work. You ain't got to sell no cat. You ain't got to go on no banks. You ain't got to do nothing but sit back and wait on your rescue boat to come.
Yeah, and I think that's a big point that you're making, and I think because at one point in time the rules that we came up in is honor was a part of that, and I think that in morals and in ethics, even in the street standpoint. Because if you say, like you just said, if you say fuck them, how easy is it gonna be for somebody to say fuck you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I think that the whole protocol situation have been lost. And there's so many motherfuckers around here, people are out here posing as bosses and claiming to be bosses, but not necessarily handling being boss like to a T. And being boss like to a T is you handling that bond money, you handling them lawyer fees, you taking care of a few things around the house, make sure the person family got something to eat and the roof stay over their head. That's boss shit. If you just somebody out here that's, you posing, you gonna get poser motherfucking you gonna get poser problems. You know what I'm saying? I think that's very important that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And I wanted to highlight that because that's what a lot of people, I think it's real reckless of a lot of people to even get out and be doing this type of stuff. And you don't have, everybody ain't on that foundational stage.
You absolutely right. God before everything says, question, how do you think this would have went if old girl would have stayed silent? I still would have, it was meant for me to go to jail. I'm not being funny. It was meant for me to go to jail. I learned so much. I grew up when I was in prison. I grew up and I actually got the opportunity to look at me. A lot of times we go through life, especially when you have a rough start, we go through life and we blame everybody else. But when I went to prison, I was able to sit there, look at myself and take accountability and actually learn what accountability was. Like people hear the word, but they so very few people process that. Like they don't process what accountability is. They hear it, but they don't process. I processed accountability for life. It was so many decisions that I made throughout my life, that I had to take accountability for. It was meant for me to go to prison. Even if she would have stayed silent, I would have went to prison another time and probably for something way worse.
Right.
So I actually caught a blessing going to prison when I did, because my rap sheet would have been way longer, god dog it, because I was on a hot streak. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I agree with you on that. I mean, I thank God that I went to prison
Yeah.
with what I did go to prison with, and when I got hit, because it could have been extremely worse, way worse. And so just being able to be out here and be free is a blessing. Here you go.
That really was is what it is. I had an attitude because I didn't want to be there with the bitch, and so I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? That was my fault. That really was my fault, and I argue with Fat Boys about it to this day. But that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? I could put that part off on him, but it's not. It's really my fault because I'm supposed to be on the phone with her. So cool. I go call and get her a lawyer. The retainer for the lawyer is $10,000. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I buy the phone. I get the lawyer. He said he gonna show up in court for her. You know, when I get Fat Boy the phone, he called up there to the counselor. She was in ACJ, Allegheny County Jail. He called up there to the counselor and give a girl the number to give to her so he can call, so she can call him. You know what I'm saying? Now, check this out. The lawyers show up in court for her. You know what I'm saying? They get her a bond. She don't want to bond out. She don't want to bond out. So when she do call Fat Boy, and Fat Boy like, yo, I'm trying to pay your bond. You know what I'm saying? What's up? She said, no, let me stay here just in case they give me some time. Now, what had been discovered yet, I'm going to say this again, what hadn't been discovered yet is this bitch was out on parole for robbing pawn shops in Vegas. Excuse me, with her and her friends. That hadn't been discovered yet. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that hadn't been discovered is, we'll get to that. So, Fat Boy is carrying on a normal conversation, a normal relationship with this bitch, and he talking, he asking her about money. I mean, he having a real conversation with her. So people who don't know about jail calls, those phones are recorded. Any phone call you make outgoing from a jail, the phone calls are recorded. So they are recording their phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Stacking up evidence, stacking up fucking evidence, stacking up evidence. All right. Boom. So after she go to court, you know, but of course, I didn't want to talk to the lawyer. So Fat Boy like, man, call a lawyer and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? See what's going on since she didn't want to bond out. So I call him. I say, hey, you know, this is Cecilia Robinson. I was calling about the, you know, the case with the bail. This motherfucker tell me I can no longer talk to you or discuss the case with you for the simple fact you are a co-defendant. How the fuck am I a co-defendant? I wasn't locked up. So I get off the phone, I fire him.
You are a co-defendant. So at this point, so when you become a co-defendant, at this point, you acknowledge that you locked up in some kind of conspiracy. Not locked up, but literally, but you now are in some, that's what that should have alerted you to. When somebody says you're a co-defendant, you're locked into some type of conspiracy, which can carry a whole lot of time, can carry a federal indictment, can carry so many things. What do you process this as that? What did that mean to you for somebody to tell you you're a co-defendant at that point in time?
I fired him immediately. I fired when he said when he used the word, imagine I had never been to jail before. I ain't never been a juvenile, none of this stuff. When he used the words co-defendant, I screamed, this bitch telling! She telling! You know what I'm saying? How can I be a damn co-defendant? I ain't locked up. None of that. You know what I'm saying? I was tight. I fired him immediately. Fired him. And I get on the phone with Fat Boy. I say, this bitch telling. She's telling. She not telling. I said, the lawyer just told me I'm a co-defendant. How she not telling? You know, unbeknownst to me, unbeknownst to Fat Boy, this bitch started telling in the bank. She started telling in the bank. Before she did not. Before she went to jail, she started telling immediately in the bank. Sure did.
Let me.
She didn't even put up a fight. The bitch didn't even pinch nobody. She just went straight. Hey, my mama name is Mary. What? She told on everybody listen, this bitch told on everybody she had encountered. She told on a pimp. She told on me. Fat Boy, listen, she told on the bitches at Dunkin' Donut. She told on the bitches who was doing her hair. She told on everybody. It was a chick who had a damn salon out there in Philly who had purses. You know, she used to buy the purses, the high-end purses in the salon. She told on her. She ain't got nothing to do with nothing. This bitch told on the garbage man. She told on the people in the damn bar. This bitch told on everybody.
So I want to make this clear or get clarity on this. So you get her a lawyer. You spend $10,000 on a retainer for a lawyer, for her lawyer, right? So, and you get the number, and the lawyer, he knows that you put the retainer down for it, right? So so you call him back, and so he can't even talk to you, even though he took your money, because he's saying it's a conflict of interest, and you are a co-defendant at this point.
Yeah, he here's the thing, the whole thing, when I was talking to him about it, he told me the retainer would be $10,000 to take the whole case. He wanted $60,000. $60,000. I told him no problem. No problem. You know what I'm saying? I give him the money. He don't know. He don't know until he gets there and get the damn paperwork that this bitch is singing. So he finds out, because I called Fat Boy on me about calling him, finding out, because he talked to her, like she called him after she come from court. He don't want to talk to the lawyer. Everything's me. This is my problem. You know what I'm saying? So he telling me to call. I'm like, I don't want to talk. Like, call the lawyer. You got him the money. You the person who retained the lawyer for him. You know what I'm saying? And when I call him, he tell me, I can't talk to you. Conflict of interest. You're now co-defendant. Walk up the bed. Yeah, that's how it went.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I would have known that bitch was telling, you wouldn't have got my 10,000.
That's what I was gonna say. That's when it really get really, really, really hard, because when you are riding and you are doing what you're supposed to do, and the person starts telling, and you done wasted your money on getting them free and all that other shit. Whoo, 10 grand. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. Okay.
Oh. You know what I'm saying? I fire him and I have a co-defendant. How the fuck am I a co-defendant? I say, hey, this is Cecilia Robinson. I was calling about the case with the bill. This motherfucker tell me I can no longer talk to you or discuss the case with you for the simple fact you are a co-defendant. How the fuck am I a co-defendant? I wasn't locked up. So I get off the phone, I fire him. You know what I'm saying? I fire him and I have to go find another lawyer. That's another $10,000. You know what I'm saying? But I get on the phone and I tell Fat Boy, I said, this bitch telling. She telling. Fat Boy, she not telling. She ain't talking. I said, the lawyer just called me a fucking co-defendant. You know what I'm saying? He just called me a co-defendant. Man, she not telling. I'm telling you, bitch ain't telling. How do you know this? He keep in contact with her. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. 6 months motherfucking later. 6 months later. I'm on some fat shit. I like to eat. Chicken is my favorite thing. It just is what it is. I'm in Philly, riding down the nice little streets and shit, stop at Popeye's Chicken, give me some chicken, and I pull up. I pull up on the side street on Venego up in North Philly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there, and I'm eating. I'm eating my chicken. You know what I'm saying? I'm on some lazy shit, some fat shit. I ain't got shit to do. I'm just riding around, chilling. So down the street, like straight down this fucking street, I see a SWAT van. And I see motherfuckers jumping out. And I see them niggas, I see them running, I see them kicking his door. I see him running the crib. And I'm like, damn, eating. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, what they got going on around here? So like down the block, you know what I'm saying? Like a block down, the same shit is going on. Same shit is going on. Never in a million fucking years did I think these motherfuckers was looking for me.
Damn.
It didn't click in my head. It did not click in my head. It didn't make sense to me. None of that. Now, I leave Philly. Once again, I'm just living my regular old life, hustling. Boy said, just let y'all know, he did not sleep with that girl.
Oh, snap. Okay. So the doors getting kicked in. You don't even know what's going on. You completely oblivious that they even looking for you, because this is 6 months later. Because I think you can get lost in translation there. So after she done got arrested and all this other shit is happening, 6 months later, you just ride around and getting it, eat Popeye's chicken and shit, and you posted on the block just sitting up eating some chicken in your car watching the block, and you see door after door after door get kicked in by the laws, and you completely oblivious that they looking for you.
Yep.
Wow.
And the reason why they were kicking in those doors, come to find out, she couldn't remember the address to the hub. She didn't know the address. So she gave them addresses that she thought. That's one. Two, another thing was we used a lot of burner phones, you know. And so when you get a burner phone, even though it's a throwaway phone, they be asking you for an address. I just need an address on file, some stuff like that. So we used to give just random ass addresses, like random addresses we done seen before. So they'll hit those numbers and try to find the address that's attached to these damn numbers. And so that's why they was kicking in those doors.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
Crazy. Hold on, let me.
In my head, it didn't make sense to me, none of that. Now, I leave Philly. Once again, I'm just living my regular old life, hustling. I leave Philly. I'm gone for a month. You know what I'm saying? I go to Memphis. I'm gone for a whole month in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I got to do. My kids is at home in Philly. Kids at home in Philly, going about their daily routine, this, that, and the third. So on the 30th day, I leave Memphis. I'm on my way back. We drive from Memphis back to Philly. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired because I've been on the road for 30 days doing whatever I do. I get home, soon as I settle down in the bed, you know, the kids is gone, they gone. I get back early as shit. The kids going to school. Soon as I get comfortable in the bed, my phone ring. It's Fat Boy. So I'm like, hello. So he was like, hey, why don't you run up to Boston real quick? I just got back. He like, go up to Boston real quick for me. Go up to Boston. You know? So I'm like, gee, I just got home. I ain't seen my kids in a month. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen my kids. None of this. He was like, man, just go up to Boston. He was like, stay out there for a day and come back. He was like, shit dope in Boston. So I say, man, fuck it. Now, normally I argue. I told you this. I like to argue. Normally I argue. I didn't even argue with him. What I did is I went to go get my kids an early dismissal from school. I took them, bought them some shoes. We went to go eat, went to the movies and everything. I had already called my driver and say, yo, this the plan. We're going up to Boston. You know what I'm saying? We're going to drive up there. We're going to come back tomorrow night. We're going to go up there and see what it's heading for. We're going to come back tomorrow night. You know, I had no fight in me. I was too fucking tired. I had no fight in me. So my daughter, I remember my daughter telling me, like, Mom, you just got home. We ain't seen you. And I tell my daughter, like, yo, in order for y'all to live the lifestyle that y'all live, I have to do what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? This is how we eat. This is how I take care of y'all. This is my job. You know, and this is what I tell my daughter. Now, I never take clothes on the road. I never take clothes and shit on the road or money for the simple fact I like to shop while I'm on the road. That's what I do. I shop in the malls. I go in the banks during the day and I shop in the malls during the night. So as I'm talking to my daughter, unbeknownst to me, like unconsciously, I'm packing a bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm packing a bag. I packed like 4 outfits, 4 pairs of shoes, and I throw $4,000 on the counter. I tell my daughter, I said, tomorrow take your sisters to the Africans, get their hair braided. It was time for their hair to get braided. Take your sisters to the Africans, get your hair braided. I said, take your friends out to eat. I said, I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? I'll throw $4,000 on the counter. No lie. There's $1,000 for each one of them. So they can do whatever they need to do while they was out there. And my driver pull up. You know what I'm saying? And it was an issue with the cars. I wanted to switch cars. But I ended up getting into one of my cars. We got out of his cars and I got into one of the cars I had. You know what I'm saying? And which is, I still can't figure out why I did this shit to this day. I'm talking about everything was just off a little bit, you know? So we go up to Boston and all this other shit.
So a couple of things, which I think a lot of people also gets lost in translation. Because at this point, you out here hustling and you doing all this extravagant shit, like really going hard on the hustle, but you're also a full-time mom. You got 4 daughters, 4 beautiful daughters, and it's and you hustling, and like you said in this deal, you haven't seen your daughters in a month. What is that like? And what is that situation in that scenario like for you?
Not seeing them in a month.
Not just not seeing them as in a month, but being a mom, a full-time mom, and also being a full-time hustler like that.
Okay, let me talk about this because y'all know
are you at basketball games, football games? What are you doing? Okay, because that's crazy.
So okay, listen, I moved my daughters from Chicago to Philly to be with me, and it was a whole situation. When I left Chicago to move to Philly initially, and I talk about this in the C-HIVE, when I left Chicago to move to Philly, my children weren't supposed to stay in Chicago. I had to go out there to Philly because I had got casted for a reality show. So just so happened I ended up start hustling while I was out there in Philly. Now, my kids had to finish out the school year in Chicago. And when it came time for the end of the school year, it was time for them to come. But they wanted to, stay their last little summer in Chicago. Now, when you're making money, people be really jealous of you, especially I'm a girl. So it was a lot of dudes that was jealous of me. Dudes that had their chance with me, but they messed up the chance. So they was just really bitter. There was a lot of family members that I wasn't clicking with because I'm not going to take care of your bum ass. And I don't think y'all understand how hard people went to try to silence me. I've had a bunch of messed up stuff happen to me, and people just hated my voice. People just hated me because they couldn't break my spirit. People hated me because they couldn't break my hustle. People hated me because I could out hustle them, and if they can't get to me, they try to get to my kids, do little stuff. So when my children were staying at, I went up there for the 4th of July, and everything was good. When I went up there, I re-wardrobe my children, re-wardrobe them, bought them all this stuff. I think I spent close to $10,000 buying everything they needed, all their clothes and stuff. And I kept my kids fly, letting them know y'all only got a couple more days to be up here. Cause school started back at the end of August. Y'all only got a few more to be up here. Then y'all bring y'all ass to Philly. Okay, cool. Y'all, the moment I make it back to Philly from Chicago, I get a phone call from my daughter saying that they had fought this particular individual, and this person has stolen their coat. Imagine, I'm gone 24, not even a whole 24 damn hours. They had stolen my children clothes, and it was a whole big ass issue, a big issue. Like none of the stuff that I had purchased was there. They had took phones, everything. I mean, and this is a grown ass man that did this. Went in the house while they wasn't there and took all this stuff, and my children end up ganging up and whooping his ass. But he gave it to his girlfriend and her kids. Just imagine, I was livid. It is what it is. So I tell my daughter, I say, listen, I just got back to Philly. I say, can you go to your friend's house? She had a friend that she used to always go over there, and she had called the friend mama and asking her sisters come over there until I come and get them. And she told her, yeah. Now at this point, the friend mama was dealing with cancer. She was going through chemo, but she was like, yeah. I told her I sent her a couple of dollars. I sent $1,000 out there, hold on to them until I get back and get them. Now I gotta hop on the road and make some more money before I go back out there. This is a real story. And so I'm doing whatever I'm doing because I got plans. Like when I have plans to go hustle and stuff, I stick to those plans. My daughter called me 2 days into them being at the friend house saying they can't do it. She really sick. My younger daughters everybody's just displaced, and they need me to come sooner than that week I was trying to get them to stay there. I told them no problem. I contact my artist Go. Y'all heard me speak of Go before. I hit up Go and I tell Go, I say, I need you to get my kids on the Greyhound and send my kids to me. He was like, I can't travel with them. I said, don't worry about it. I say, I'm gonna send you some money. I send Go, I want to say I sent Go like $3,000-$4,000. I said, get them whatever they need. I need you to get them on the Greyhound. I need you to holler at the bus driver. I need you to holler at the bus driver and tell them that the children will be traveling alone. At this point in time, Nana like 15 years old. She like 15 years old. And I need you to make sure, pay this bus driver. Hand this bus driver some cash because he's the babysitter until they get to the the next stop. Get him my phone number. Even though my kids, he had to buy them new phones and everything. Even though my kids had phones, I want the bus driver to call, give me updates on stops, how is they sleeping, whatever. Because at this point I'm trusting a damn stranger to get my kids to me. This is real stuff. And so go get them. They go over to go house and he get everything they need and get them to the Greyhound station. He stay at the state. He get their tickets. He stay at the station with them. And when the Greyhound get there, he holler at the bus driver. He get a bus driver $500 to watch them. And the bus driver kept me updated hour after hour after hour, every stop, how they was doing. This is some real stuff. And he had a conversation with my daughters, and he wouldn't let my daughters off the bus until he seen me face to face when they arrived in Philly. And that's how my children end up getting to Philly. That's how they ended up getting to Philly. And so when my children got to Philly, like, I've never heard anything from my children. Never, because it's the stuff that you don't know that will hurt you. Only thing I had in this world was my kids. So my kids been seeing the good, the bad, the ugly. And I don't want no naive ass daughters. Ain't nothing sweet, So I allowed my children to see me for who I am. You done seen this part over here, and I don't want my kids to get confused that all this shit right here is glitz and glamour. And no, I'm not telling you to do this with your kids. This is what I did with my children. I allow my children to look at my life, and you have to make your own assessment about this. This shit ain't all glitz and glamour. Yeah, we living good, this, that, and the third, but this is what's happening right now. And I've always taught my daughters to be domesticated. I raised them to be domesticated. They could take care. I trust my kids before I trust another adult. They could take care of household. They know how to go grocery shopping, the stuff to get to go grocery shopping. Am I lying? They even like that right now.
Right. They're very,
very. Yeah. How to get up and get dressed. The oldest got to take care of everybody. The second oldest got to take care of the ones up under them. The third oldest got to take care of that baby. And the baby, she's just a damn baby, and she's still that way to this day. And she's a grown woman. But I didn't feel no type of way being away from them because I knew they were okay. I provided, financially, and I gave them direction. And I know you're not going to tear my damn house up while I'm gone. So I didn't, people use, like, when people get in jams and shit like that, especially women, they try to say, I got to get to my kids. I was in the street consistently, constantly. I wasn't worried about no damn kids when I was in the street. I left money here, and I know how much money you're going to spend a day, how much money you're going to spend a week. So I never used that as a crutch or excuse. I'm away from my kids. I need to get out for my kids. No, because if I cared that damn much, and I'm not saying I don't love my kids, but I'm being realistic, and this is the accountability part that people don't like. If I cared that much, I would have had my ass home with them.
True talk. It's true talk, and I think that right there within itself, the honesty in that speaks volumes, and that's one of that. I think that answers a lot of people's questions that didn't really understand. This is what you do. This is your life. This is what the world that you're living in, and this is the type of sacrifice that it takes to get to where you were at. But let's get it going.
This shit to this day. I'm talking about everything was just off a little bit, So we go up to Boston and all this other shit, and I buzz Boston down. I'm talking about do my shit. So when I got done, we were supposed to me and my driver was supposed to leave and go back to Philly, but I was tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay another day. So when I talked to Fat Boy, he was like, man, yeah, go ahead and stay another day. He said, my people coming up there. He said, I need you to grab them from the airport. You know what I'm saying? Hook them up with a car from the airport And he said, man, you shouldn't just come on back. You know what I'm saying? I said, all right. Once again, I don't got no fight in me. I ain't tripping that he running my ass around like I really work for him. I ain't tripping about none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So I go to sleep. I told to my children, I go to sleep. 4:30 a.m. Fat boy calls my phone. He said, yeah, he said his people will be there. They land at like 6. He asked me to pick him up, and I'm taking directly to the the airport so we can, grab a car. And he said, leave the car you're in. He said, leave that car at the airport. He said, we'll get you another car when you come back this way. You know what I'm saying? This was a throwaway car. However it goes, 6 o'clock, I'm there in the parking lot, me and my driver, and his people come out just to show a shit stain. I go up in there, get a new car. So it's 3 cars. So go up in there, we do our shit. So after we get the rental cars, I leave that car we was initially in the parking lot. But at this point, it's like 7:30, almost 8 o'clock. She wants to see if she could go into a bank, like a bank branch. We want to test out the work before we parted ways. Just in case, you know what I'm saying, she need to grab something from us. Long story short, I call Fat Boy when we get to the first bank. You know what I'm saying? When we get to the first bank, he's not answering the phone. My driver called Fat Boy, he's not answering the phone. A girl called Fat Boy, he's not answering the phone. One of my phones ring, and it's another friend of ours named Peebo. May you rest in peace. So me and Peebo, we don't get along like that. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't answer. So he called me again. I didn't answer. So he called me again. I didn't answer. So he called me again. Yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Me and him do not get along. We don't get along. What's up? So he's like, Cece, where's your kids at? So I look at the time. It's like 8:30 at this point. I'm like, shit, they in school. I'm like, what you need to get in my house? I had a credit card machine at my house. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking maybe he needs to get into the house to maybe he need to get into the house to use the machine because he can't get in the hub. Like, this is common, like normal shit is running through my head, not nothing extreme. He say, Cece, he say, find your kids. So I'm like, now when somebody call you and ask you to find your fucking kids, automatically that blows you. It's like, the fuck you mean, find my kids? So I'm calling my kids' phones. My kids is not answering the phone. My children are not answering the phone. Then I'm like, bitch, call a school. You know what I'm saying? I call the schools. All my children are in attendance at school. So I call him back. I'm like, my kids at school. Why, what's up? He said they got Fat Boy. Who got Fat Boy? He say they ran up in his spot and they got him. He said the feds, the police, they got him. Once again, my heart made its way to my coochie. I could not believe it. And he say, they're looking for you. I'm like, who? Who looking for me? He said, the police looking for you. Cece, you cannot go to your kids. He said, your kids need to meet you in New York. He said, if you go back to Philly trying to go to your kids, he said, that's how they gonna get you. He said, okay, none of us had no contact with you. He said, because the people want you. I'm talking about everything in me like ran on the ground. Everything in me ran on the fucking ground. Everything in me ran on the ground. I could not believe it. So I'm like, okay. He said, Cece, he was like, you need to dump these fucking phones. He said, everybody's phones have been tapped. He said, I'm telling you, everybody's phones have been tapped. He said, I'm finna throw these shits away right now. He said, y'all need to get new phones. You know what I'm saying? He hang up. He ain't say goodbye, nothing. He hang the fuck up. So I look up with my driver. I didn't even realize that he was on the phone. And the look on his face was like he saw a ghost. I look back at old girl. She's on the fucking phone. She's pale. I'm talking about this bitch is pale. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is him and her hang up the phone at the same time without saying a word. And mind you, we ain't even separated the car. We ain't even separated the cars yet. You know what I'm saying? So he just pull off. He pulled directly off and started heading for a Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So he Googling and shit, looking for a Walmart. He pull up into a Walmart parking lot. And we went up in Walmart, and we up in Walmart breaking phones, brand new phones and breaking phones. These people looking at us like we fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? We get that shit, and everybody's saying like, yo, he telling me like, man, Cece, they looking for you. And she like, man, I ain't got shit to do with this war after bed and all this. It's like now, everybody looking at me. It's like I'm diseased or some shit. I'm blue. You know what I'm saying? He like, well, I don't want you in a car with me. And she, well, I'm happy we got another car, all this other shit. It's not a problem. I got to get back in that other car, the initial car we was in. You know what I'm saying? So we go back to the parking lot and he stay in that car. You know, he give me a hug first. He give me a hug. He stay in that car. She get in the other car that we had went in there and got, that I had went up in there and got. And me, I get in the old car. The old car I had. You know what I'm saying? So I call my daughter. No, I sent her a text. I sent her a text like, yo, this is your mom. You need to call me when you get out of class. You know what I'm saying? Then I call up. That wasn't satisfying me enough. I call up to the school and tell them to pull my daughter out of class. You know what I'm saying? I need to speak with her. So they go pull her out of class and she come down. She get on the phone. I'm like, no, listen. I was like, when you get out of school, you need to call me immediately. I was like, I can't come to y'all. I said some shit that happened. I said, they got Fat Boy. I said, I'm going to need you to get your sisters and I'm going to need you to come to New York. You know what I'm saying? This girl is a kid. She like 14, 15 years old, So she was like, I knew something was wrong. I'm like, what you mean? She said, when I got up last night to use the bathroom, I got like these big ass picture windows in my kitchen. I lived in a loft. She say, and we from Chicago, so we know motherfucking police when we see them, whether they marked, unmarked, none of all of that shit. We know them. She said when she got up to use the bathroom, she said she went in the kitchen to get her something to drink. She said it was a black truck with blacked out windows parked in the parking lot, but you could see the computer. They had the computer up. You know what I'm saying? So all the time they was casing the fucking house. She said, and then she said when they got ready to walk to school, now she had to drop her siblings off at school first before she got to school. She said the fucking police was following them. The police was following them. I said, okay, cool. I said, I got to get somebody. I said, y'all come to New York. I said, I'm in Boston. I'm 2 hours away from New York. Y'all in Philly. Y'all a couple hours away from New York. I said, we meet up in the center. When she got out of school, she got her siblings. You know what I'm saying? Have it go. When I told them to get on a bus to come to New York, the bus driver wouldn't allow them to get on the bus without an adult present because the bus driver thought they were running away. You know what I'm saying? So I tell Nana, I say, listen, I said, just go back to the house. I said, go back to the house and pack up whatever y'all can. I said, you stay there and wait for me. At this point in time, I didn't even know they had already kicked in my fucking door right in my house. You know what I'm saying? So they just left a sticker there, So my kids went up in there and gathered whatever they could, and they had to stay there and wait on instructions. You know what I'm saying? Now, I had to call Chicago. I had to call one of my people in Chicago and tell them, yo, I had to tell him everything that was happening. He was keeping my money. I need you to pull that money up out the bank, and I need you to come get my fucking kids because I cannot get my kids. You know what I'm saying? He stopped everything he was doing, and that motherfucker got on a plane. We came up with a play. We came up with a play. He got on a plane and took his ass to Jersey. Now, when he got to Jersey, he notified me. I was still in Boston. He said, come to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Come to Philly. Meet me at the airport in Philly. You know what I'm saying? So I drove. Oh, I'm talking about ass cheeks clenched. Oh, I did not want to drive. I didn't know if they had this car or not. I didn't know if they had the license plate or whatever. I'm a wanted chick at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I made it to the airport in Philly. He was in Trenton, New Jersey. He said, what I'm gonna do, because I was gonna go to him. He said, nah. He said, I'm gonna take a taxi. He said, call the girls and let them know I'm coming. He said, I'm gonna take a taxi. I'm gonna get them, bring them back to Trenton, and we're gonna catch a flight in the morning. You know what I'm saying? He said, once we get on that flight, he said, I'm gonna send you a text. He said, you hop on the road to Chicago. And that's exactly how my kids got the fuck up out of Philly. Now, my plan was when I got to Chicago, I had to. Okay, it's a story in there that I don't know if I told this, but before my folks came there or whatever, like when I had told them when they got out of school, they needed to get on a bus and meet me in New York, right?
Right.
So the bus driver wouldn't let them on, but of course they thought they was running away. So it's this dude that I met when I initially went to Philly, right? When I was on the Greyhound, how I got to Philly, my first time ever going to Philly, how I got to Philly, I took the Greyhound. Um, when I first got on that Greyhound, it was some dudes getting out of jail. Some dudes getting out of jail. You know, they had their box, they got on their sweats, and they got on their little kung fu's and all this other stuff. Um, and they on there, they happy to be out. So me, like, we all sitting in the back of the bus and we talking, like we get to talking, they asking me questions, you know, they happy to be free. And they you know, I'm the you know, I'm back there, we all having a very good time or whatever. Long story short, you know, I get one of the dudes named Mama. He was cute, he was cool as shit, you know what I'm saying? We can't exchange numbers, so I give him my number. He tell me, he say, well, he from Philly, if I need somebody to show me around and all this other stuff, he'll be glad to do it. He was like, he got stuff out there waiting on him, you know. Okay, cool, I give him my number and all this other stuff. I had stayed cool with well, his name is not Amon. I'm just saying Amon. I stayed cool with him the whole time. So when this happened, they wouldn't let my daughter they wouldn't let my children on the bus. I called him. And I told him the situation that was going on. Imagine he on parole. You know what I'm saying? So it spooked him. I got to be 150% transparent with this dude because I need him to get to my damn kids. Because I can't call none of my crew because, you know, the people on us. So he's the only other person that I know out there like that. And I'm putting my trust in a pretty much a damn stranger's hand. You know what I'm saying? And I tell him what's going on. But of course, his spidey senses go up. I tell him, I say, I need you to get my kids, get my daughters until I could get to them, you know, or get somebody to y'all. And he tell me, he say, okay, I'll do as best as I can. He said, but I got some stuff to do. He said, but I get him. So I have to link him with my oldest girl and he go pick them up. You know, they meet at a place, he feed them and all this other stuff, and he take my kids back to his people, but he's scared shitless. You know what I'm saying? Because he on paper and he do not need to be, he don't want to be caught up in nothing else. He don't want to be caught up in nothing else. So that's that little piece up in there I don't think I ever told.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy work. You ready?
Yeah. To put my flight, he said, I'm gonna send you a text. He said, you hop on the road to Chicago. And that's exactly how my kids got the fuck up out of Philly. Now my plan was when I got to Chicago, I had to put my kids in school. I couldn't turn myself in and no shit like that until I made sure my kids were straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm a single mom. So, and this is another thing. Here's another thing. I'm gonna tell you about that part. I don't think. Listen, that plan went well. He got my kids. They caught a flight. I hopped on the road to Chicago. The dude I was dealing with, you know, he on the phone, quiet, crying the whole time. This, that, and the third. His little life changing before his eyes. I'll tell y'all about that another time. And I'm getting text messages.
Wait a minute. Why you get that rude look when you talk about your boyfriend at the time? You gave him a real bad look.
And this is what I be talking about. Like I was making so much money that I didn't pay attention to shit that I should have paid attention to, nor did I have standards for people, shit like that. It just is what it is. And I'm not bashing him, but I'm keeping it real. He crying and shit, not because I'm on a run. This motherfucker crying because who gonna foot the bill?
Mm. 'Cause you think he was hurt because his golden goose was getting strangled.
Listen, man, it's just that shit was just thinking back on it. Like I really, I just really did not give a fuck. You know, I'm being 150% real because I was making so much money. So when you're making money, money covers up that shit smell. If you make enough money, you can't smell the shit. You know, there was no way. People be like, when you hustling and you making money, you have to watch the people around you because people really be they be in they be in their feelings. It's always some type of strife, always some type of jealousy, especially when it came to the dudes who were around me. Like, you got this bitch, she making all this money, and you been struggling this whole damn time, and she ain't putting you on. So he probably felt like, I can't say for sure, but he probably felt like I was trying to keep him down as a man. And then this is, I gotta say this, because this opened my eyes to the dynamics of a female and a male. You know, this also opened my eyes to how a man feels. I'm being real, because women, like, if you choose that dude, that's your king. That's who you chose to be your king. No matter what no matter what crown, what jewels is in his crown, you chose him to be your damn king. That's one. You have to respect that man. I didn't give a damn about respecting none of that. Nigga, I'm a boss. Fuck is you talking about? Let's buy this shit. Let's get on. That's the way I thought. It just never dawned on me how a man feels when he can't be a damn man to a woman who has everything. There was nothing in this world that man could have did for me but give me some dick. There was nothing. He couldn't provide a place for me to live. He couldn't provide me with a car. He couldn't give me no money. He could barely give me some advice because me and you, we're not on the same level. You don't know what the hell I got going on. You're not in this field. You can't tell me nothing about nothing. And I carry him that way. You know, I could cook my ass off. I never made this man a meal. Never. He don't know what my food tastes like. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, I had a whole nother life going on. And he was not a part of that life. He wanted to be a part of that life, but he was not a part of that life. I wouldn't give him no money to hold. I give him some money to put in his pocket, but I trusted a whole nother dude with my money. You know,
Damn.
It was like I was the nigga and he was a bitch. Not saying he a bitch because he'll get out there and do something, but I didn't respect that. There was nothing about him I respected. And I didn't realize and I'm not being funny, but being with you, you know, you being my man, there's so many things. I was raised with my daddy, and I know how my daddy operate. And my daddy was a hellified man. But it's very few men that I have came across that could equal up to my damn daddy. You know? And so I don't have those expectations. And I'm not talking about you, babe, because I'm getting to something when I say this. I don't have expectations for no man. I didn't have it. It wasn't in my head because I know what I can do. I know, I'm the breadwinner. I know I can make it happen. I'm not expecting for you. I'm not putting my eggs in your damn basket because, nigga, I see how you coming, but I got this over here, you know, and I should have just wanted more for myself. And I should have wanted more coming from them, but I didn't. And I did not understand how important a man with his head on his shoulders correctly is until I got with you. And I'm not being funny, I'm being real. Like, nobody's perfect, but damn, you're You up there. You up there. You know, it is what it is.
I appreciate that, baby. I appreciate that. And that's wild to hear, you know what I mean? But that's where you were at the time. You
Yeah.
know, that's where you were at in life. And I mean, and I think a lot of people, they don't really understand those things. It's like life is a marathon, and it's also a process, you know, and you live and you learn, you know, and that's what happens, you know. And you want to be a part of you want to be a part of the learning process, but you also want to be a part of the stand. You want to stay in the picture if that's what you want. If that's what you want to do, I mean, if it's kind of technical to look at it like that, but as I, it's a process. Your life is a process. But we ready to get back to this?
Yeah.
All right.
He got my kids. They caught a flight. I hopped on the road to Chicago. The dude I was dealing with, you know, he on the phone, quiet, crying the whole time, this, that, and the third. His little life changing before his eyes. I'll tell y'all about that another time. And I'm getting text messages now with the news reports and shit saying that I'm wanted and all this other shit. Now this shit is starting to come in. You know what I'm saying? Now I really realize how real this shit is. Now, I gotta say something. When you're doing a motherfucking crime, when you're doing a crime, if you cannot take the heat, you shouldn't be doing a shit. Here I am, a single mom with all my kids, and I take damn good care of my kids. I'm a grandmother now. You know what I'm saying? I took damn good care of my kids. Yet you got a bitch who don't even got custody of her motherfucking kids that came in and destroyed all my shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like this shit is mind-boggling to me. Bitch, if you know you gonna always want to run your motherfucking mouth and you can't do no jail time, why the fuck is you committing crimes? Go work in Nordstrom's or Barney's or some shit like that where it's beautiful. This shit get ugly. And I hate that my life and my children's lives were transformed like that because of bitch. It just is what it is. Have it go. When I get to Chicago, they get to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even see my kids like that because they was at the police was at old addresses. They was around my kids' school. They was at my kids' grandparents' house and everything. I had to literally see my kids and like tell my kids to meet me at a Family Dollar. Y'all go in first, going out 4, and I pull up. You know what I'm saying? Hoodie on or some shit. Look, I'm a big girl. I'm a thick girl. You know what I'm saying? Linebacker type. Burly bitch. It is what it is. I gotta come up in there all disguised down, skull cap and all this other type of shit. Just to go hug my motherfucking kids. I gotta meet my kids in the back of Pepe's and shit just to hug them and tell them I love them. Now, CPD was cool than a motherfucker up in my kids' school because they knew I was on the run. I don't think, listen, I know police get a bad rap. You know, I'm one of those type of people that the police too. But those people knew me. They knew me. And I got a bunch of kids, and you know, I kept my kids in the same schools and stuff. And so CPD is heavy up at the children's school, this, that, and the third. So I'm pretty sure they got seen the news just like everybody else seen the news. And they're like, damn, that's one of the parents from the school, this, that, and the third. So I'm pretty sure it started to make sense to them when they started seeing my kids again, because they knew them kids was leaving, you know. The police officers knew I was on the run. They knew it. Once again, they know the people in the area, you know. And I remember having a conversation with the police officer, and I told her, I say, look, I say, I'm being real with you. I say, I'm on the run, you know. And she told me, she said, I know. I say, but I can't turn myself in. I'm going to turn myself in. I made a promise. I'm going to turn myself in. Please just let me handle the situations with my kids. Let me get my kids set up. She told me, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
And I want to make it clear, you are the mom that buys the outfits and buys the uniforms and stuff for games and stuff like that. So these people at these schools, when they see you on the news, they know exactly who you are. They know who you were. Which I want to make that clear, because I don't want people to believe that you like just this off-brand woman, but you the woman that will drive in. If you hustling somewhere, you'll drive 8 hours to one of your children's competitions or something like that. You buying the uniforms, you buying the shoes, you feeding the kids, bringing pieces. So these people inside the school, police officers and different people, when the news come on and your face is plastered all over the news, they know who you are.
Listen, I think people hear this, but I don't think people grasp this. And you're right now, you're a personal witness. I'm the parent that shows up. Like, let's just say boys basketball for the children. Boys basketball, even though my daughters, some of them was cheerleaders, right? So the boys have away games and stuff like this, and then these competitions, and a lot of us as parents don't show up for our kids, or we can't show up for our kids. But I'm the parent that's showing up. And when they go playing these other schools, and they playing the schools, and they got their lunches and all this other stuff, our boys out there, and they like they just left out. I'm the one that's going out there to Papa John's or Little Caesars or McDonald's, whatever, bringing back big ass boxes of pizza, making sure they got all their Gatorade, all of this. I'm the parent that's buying everybody's shoes so that one person on the team don't feel left out because he can't afford shoes. I'm the one that's buying the uniforms, the basketball uniforms. I'm the one that's donating to the cheerleaders because I had cheerleaders. I'm the one listen, when the teams had to go to different schools, and y'all know how Chicago is rowdy, and they hate to lose on their turf, and them kids be ready to fight, and y'all know how this goes. I'm the parent that's talking to the coach. Listen, you walk in the front, get our kids on the bus. I'm going to be back here. I'm smashing whoever run up here first. I'm that parent. It means a lot. I'm that parent who see the kids and say, okay, he don't got no underwear. His pants falling down. He ain't got no belt. He got a shoestring in his shoe. I don't want to talk to their mamas. Get their sizes, and while they in school, I'm gonna be heading up here to the store, or I'm gonna send money out there for them. I'm the parent who other parents got to come up to and say, hey, you bought little Johnny shoes and winter coats and clothes and got him ready for the winter. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm the parent who's going to pay little Donnell mama lights so he can do his homework. This is the stuff that I do. I made it to every game. I made it to every competition. No matter where I was in the world, I made it there. Is you on the phone?
No, Papa here. He working. He been here the whole time. I ain't even know he was out there.
Hey, Papa.
He ain't in there. He outside working on some stuff. So
okay.
I'm finna let this play, and let me get with him real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Wasn't no secret I was on the news and shit. They knew I was on the run, and they knew my kids because my kids went there for a while. And all this other type of shit. Just to go hug my motherfucking kids. I gotta meet my kids in the back of Pepe's and shit just to hug them and tell them I love them. Now, CPD was cool than a motherfucker up in my kids' school because they knew I was on the run. It wasn't no secret I was on the news and shit. They knew I was on the run, and they knew my kids because my kids went there for a while. But the motherfuckers let me get my kids straight, and they didn't bother me. They all like they ain't see my ass, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? All you motherfuckers ain't bad. I appreciate that. But that's how I got my kids up out of Philly, and this is going to conclude, you know what I'm saying, how I got indicted. Y'all be smooth. Babe, you there?
Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna.
Alright, y'all. Hey, y'all, it's just me. I had to take that off of there. It was going on. This is too much going on. Listen, y'all got any questions? Any questions? But y'all, I'm tired. I don't know if we going onto the other thing or not. We trying to fix the damn something happened with the air. It's hot. It needs some Freon or something. They out there fixing the air. And I'm in here. Yeah, those was the earlier videos. I done made so many videos. Those was the earlier videos, and we was talking about everything that was going on. But you'll know tomorrow. Let me see what this talking about. Juicing if you do a type of vegetables. Actually, yes, I'm starting a juice. I'm doing a juice little thing today, and what I'm using today is watermelon, lime, and green apples. Yes, watermelon, lime, green apples. I hate green juice. No, that ain't it. You say that they was cool, but they didn't want to do paperwork that came with taking you in as well. Probably, but I just feel like in certain situations, honesty is the best the best thing, the best policy. You know what I'm saying? You see me. I'm not going to act like you don't see me. We looking face to face. You see me. I know you know. This is why I had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And here's another thing that I did not say. One of the things that I did not say was those officers, they end up paying my children fees the whole time I was locked up. I mean, every police officer not messed up, and I'm not going to say they are. Every police officer, but they pay all my children fees the whole time I was gone.
Talk to us about going and being in disguise, like literally being in disguise. You know what I'm saying? To go see the kids. Like, I mean, what's that whole situation like? Being in disguise to see your children.
First of all, I already look like Kevin Gates. Second of all, I was big burly ass bitch. I'm putting on scar. I start looking like a nigga. It is. I hate to say this. But I'm tall. I'm 5'9.5". You know, and then when I got weight on me, I look like I could play football. And then I keep on a pair of jogging pants, a pair of Jordans, a cold little jacket. That's my style. You know, that's my style. Shoes fresh, jacket. That's how I do. I have a real 90s vibe type female. I don't like tight clothes and all that other stuff. So it's easy. Like if my head is covered with the tattoos and stuff, like you'll be like, all right, that's some type of, you know, dyke, boy, you know what I'm saying? Boy, that is some stuff like that. But shit, I turned into a nigga to go see my kids.
Open Eyes say, she said, this might be a little bit personal. I understand if you don't want to answer, but damn, you went through a lot with that. Do you have any anxiety or PTSD behind it? If so, how do you deal with it?
Absolutely. Y'all see me twisting and turning or rocking back and forth. That's because I have really bad anxiety. Really, really bad anxiety. Like, especially before I got with Black and at the beginning of me being with him, he really helped me work on my anxiety. Panic attacks, anxiety. I don't like cars pulling up on me fast. I don't like people approaching me. I have really, really bad anxiety, and one of the coping mechanisms that what's one of the coping mechanisms that I had was hands to mouth. I was always eating. It was my anxieties. What I do now is I move my hands like this, you know, and I try to count. I stare off. Or I'm always twisting, always turning, I'm always moving. But it used to be so bad that I couldn't sleep. You know, I couldn't sleep. It got really, really bad where I couldn't go outside. Like it was a struggle just to get me to go outside and be around people. it was just really weird. And everything just came down. And yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we finna get ready to switch over to just Twitch. So we really want y'all to come over there, follow us over there. We just getting ready to become qualified to become Twitch affiliates over there. So we're gonna have that set up in a minute. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get ready to move over there. So I'm finna post the link to the Twitch in the chat, and while she answering this next question, go ahead.
I love you too, boo. About the straight drop, I see you got a line of stuff other than pills. What should I get? Listen, straight drop by itself is plenty, but I don't know how your sleeping is. I love sleep straight. I'm talking about that's dope. So those be my two recommendations right there: straight drop and straight sleep.
Yeah,
Sleep straight.
sleep straight. Sleep straight is to me, straight drop is the number one product, of course, but sleep straight. If you have any issues sleeping, you know what I'm saying. Sleep and it's non-habit forming. To me, it's our next best product, but different people might have a difference in opinion. You know what I mean? But
Also, I'm not being funny, but straight drop is almost out. When I say they just came through, we're almost sold out of straight drop, and it's gonna be on pre-order. Um, Probably after tomorrow it's gonna be on pre-order. So if you're gonna get some straight drop, you might want to get it today because tomorrow it won't be here, and
yeah,
you'll have to wait for the new batches. But we switching over to Twitch right now. Come on over, y'all.
yeah. Give them y'all take it easy. Everybody on
Y'all,
YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Y'all
thank
have a
y'all.
good day. Y'all come over to Twitch. I dropped the link in the chat. It's here. And but we finna do something different on Twitch. It's finna be dope over there.
Yes.
Give me a little peace signs.
Bye, y'all. Mwah.